There is one principle almost everyone overlooks. If you can't manage a little, you will never manage a lot. This isn't just a clever quote. This is the foundation of financial freedom and also the reason so many people stay stuck, no matter how many raises, bonuses, or opportunities come their way. Most people blame their circumstances. They'll save when I earn more. They'll get disciplined when life settles down. But the truth is brutal. The person who can't control $1 will not control 1,000. Money is like water. If you don't guide it, it slips through the smallest cracks and disappears before you even notice. And the painful part? Most people only realize they're bleeding financially when there's nothing left at the end of the month. I remember being 25 broke, in debt, overwhelmed. Then I met my mentor. He looked at me and asked, almost casually, "Jim, have you ever kept even 10 cents from every dollar?" I said, "No." He smiled and replied, "Then we know exactly why your life is the way it is. It wasn't my income. It wasn't my age. It wasn't luck. It was my habits, my discipline, my philosophy." So your first step is simple, so simple, most people ignore it. Write down the 10 smallest things you spend money on today. Those tiny numbers are controlling your life more than the big ones ever will. And here is the magic. Once you learn to manage the little things, you open the door to a completely different life. A life where money no longer leads you, but you lead it. Most people believe their financial struggles come from not earning enough. But here's the truth. Your problem is not your income. Your problem is your understanding. We were never taught how money works. School taught us geometry, not compound interest. We learned how to memorize history dates, not how to read a financial statement. No one explained that a credit card is not free money, or that the biggest enemy of financial freedom isn't poverty, it's financial ignorance. And because of that, most people walk into adulthood like blindfolded travelers, hoping the road will somehow lead somewhere good. Money is like an army. If you don't train it, it rebels. If you don't give it assignments, it wanders. If you don't understand it, it controls you. I've met people who earn very little but walk in freedom. And I've met people who earn 6 figures yet live terrified of the next bill. The difference isn't income. The difference is knowledge. I remember when I first started studying money, not from newspapers, not from random tips, but from philosophy principles that outlast economies, trends, and inflation. And slowly, everything changed. Not overnight, but consistently. Because once you understand money, you stop reacting. You start leading. So, here's your challenge for this week. Learn one financial concept every 7 days. Just one. It could be compound interest, assets versus liabilities, budgeting, investing, taxes, anything. Because every new piece of knowledge sharpens you, strengthens you, and pulls you out of the crowd that hopes and into the group that decides. Here's a hard truth most people never admit. You're not broke because you don't earn enough. You're broke because you don't know where your money goes. That's the silent disease of modern life. People aren't suffering from low income, they're suffering from financial blindness. Every month feels the same. You work, you pay, you hope, and somehow, the money is gone. No warning, no trace, no explanation. That's not bad luck. That's a lack of direction. Money without a plan behaves like a child, without supervision. If you don't tell it where to go, it will wander off into unnecessary purchases, late-night cravings, emotional spending, and the endless black hole of small things that don't matter. I remember the first time I realized I wasn't unlucky, I was unorganized. I didn't need more money. I needed a strategy. My mentor told me, "Jim, if you don't assign a job to every dollar will work against you." That sentence changed my life, and it will change yours too. Your plan doesn't need to be complicated. A simple page with 4 lines is enough. Income, expenses, what's left, where it's going, That one sheet will save you years of stress and thousands of dollars. So let's make this your turning point. If you've ever felt your money evaporate each month without knowing why, comment the number 8 below. Not for me, but for yourself, as a sign that you're done living financially blind. Because planning isn't about perfection. It's about leadership. It's about stepping out of reaction mode and stepping into responsibility. The moment you start planning your money finally starts working for you. Most people spend money the way they breathe, automatically, unconsciously, without direction. But freedom never comes from random behavior. Freedom comes from structure. And there is one structure that has changed more lives than any raise, promotion, or lucky break. The 70-10-10-10 principle. Here's the truth. Your income does not determine your future. Your allocation does. When you live on 100% of what you earn, or worse, 110% you're not living. You're drowning slowly. You're surviving paycheck to paycheck, controlled by bills, stress, and fear. But when you live on 70%, everything shifts. 70% for your lifestyle, your home, food, transportation, daily life. Then 10% to invest in yourself. Books, courses, skills, anything that upgrades your mind. Because a better mind always creates a better life. 10% for investments, money that works while you sleep, and 10% for generosity, charity, giving, helping someone who needs it. Because giving opens doors that keeping never will. I still remember the moment my mentor asked me, "Jim, have you ever saved even 10 cents from a dollar?" I said no. He smiled and replied, "Then that's exactly where we start." And that simple rule became the foundation of everything I built. See, financial management isn't math. It's discipline. It's identity. It's deciding that you control the flow of your money, not the other way around. So here's your step for today. Calculate your 70-10-10-10 split based on your monthly income. Write it down. Make it non-negotiable. The moment you master this rule, you stop living like a consumer and start building like a creator. There's a painful illusion many people live with, the belief that saving alone will make them free. But here's the truth: you can save for 40 years and still stay stuck if you never create assets. Money sitting still is just paper. Money put to work becomes power. And here's the beautiful part. Assets aren't only for the wealthy. Assets aren't limited to real estate, stocks, or big capital. An asset is anything that increases in value or produces income over time. Your skills can be an asset. Your experience can be an asset. Your story, your knowledge, your ability to teach, create, build, guide. These are seeds that can grow into something far bigger than you imagine. I started with books. Books turned into ideas. Ideas turned into products. Products turned into workshops. Workshops turned into income. Income became capital, and capital became assets. That cycle changed my entire life. I've met people who said, "I'm too old to start something new," but age has nothing to do with your potential. In fact, the older you are, the more valuable your experience becomes if you structure it. While one person wastes years saying, "I don't have enough to start," another takes a single skill, teaching, coaching, baking, repairing, crafting, and creates a stream of income that changes their future. The difference isn't resources. The difference is mindset. So here's your assignment. Write down 3 skills, experiences, or strengths you already have that could be turned into an asset. Not tomorrow, right now. Because when you stop waiting for opportunities and start creating assets, your life stops depending on luck and starts depending on you. Here's a truth most people avoid because it hurts. People think they're doing okay financially until you ask them one simple question. How much did you spend last month on food? On subscriptions? On small impulse purchases? And suddenly, the confidence disappears. They guess, they estimate, they hope, but they don't know. And here's the rule. If you think, you don't know. And if you don't know, you're not in control. That was me in my early 20s, living by feelings instead of facts. As long as I could buy a coffee, I assumed I still had money. My mentor looked me in the eyes and said, "Jim, show me the numbers." I couldn't. And that's the moment I realized the problem wasn't my income. The problem was my blindness. Tracking your money is like standing in front of a brutally honest mirror. You may not love what you see at first, the waste, the impulsive habits, the emotional spending, but that discomfort is the beginning of real freedom. Because numbers don't lie. They don't exaggerate. They don't care about your excuses. They simply tell the truth you've been avoiding. And once you face that truth, you regain power. So here is your challenge. Track every dollar you spend for the next 7 days. Every dollar. Coffee, snacks, gas, online purchases, small harmless spending. Write it down. At the end of the week, look at the mirror. See what it reveals about your discipline, your priorities, your future. And if you're ready, truly ready to stop living in financial fog and step into clarity, comment the number 8 below. Let it be your commitment, your declaration, your turning point. Because the moment you track your money, you stop guessing. Most people think financial freedom is just about retirement, comfort, or finally breathing without worry. But the truth is far greater. Financial freedom is about the legacy you leave, the mindset, the habits, and the philosophy that continues long after you're gone. You may not realize this, but every day you're teaching the next generation how to handle money, not with your words, but with your behavior. Your children, your family, the people around you, they learn by watching you navigate scarcity, abundance, fear, responsibility, generosity, and discipline. And here's the sobering reality. You don't need to leave a large bank account to leave a powerful legacy. You need to leave a system, a way of thinking, a blueprint for living wisely. I once heard the story of an older farmer. He didn't have a wide estate or piles of wealth, but he had journals, decades of careful notes on harvests, expenses, profits, and lessons learned. When his children found those journals, something shifted. They didn't just inherit numbers. They inherited a philosophy, a structure, a way of approaching life. That legacy changed their future more than any amount of money ever could. Your habits today, your discipline, your planning, your decisions will echo through generations. Whether you realize it or not, you are building a financial culture inside your home. So here's your reflection for today. Write down 3 financial principles you want the next generation to learn from you. Not the money you want to leave, but the wisdom. Because true wealth isn't measured in dollars. True wealth is measured in what continues after you. Here is something most people never understand. You don't need to change your whole financial life. You only need to fix the weakest link, and the entire system transforms. Success isn't built by doing 100 things perfectly. Success is built by identifying the one thing that's holding everything else back. Think of your financial life like a chain. If just one link is weak overspending, no tracking, no savings, too much debt, no assets, no learning, the chain breaks, no matter how strong the other parts are. The good news? Strengthen that one weak link, and suddenly the whole chain becomes unbreakable. This is why self-assessment is so powerful. Not judgment, not guilt, just honest clarity. Ask yourself these 10 simple questions. Do I know where my money goes? Do I save automatically? Do I invest in myself weekly? Do I have a plan? Do I own any assets? Do I track? Do I talk about money openly? Do I have an emergency fund? Do I avoid debt? Am I building a financial culture? Now look at your answers. Find the lowest score. That is not your weakness. That is your biggest opportunity. So here is your 7-day challenge. Choose that one area. Write down 3 simple actions you can take every day for the next week. Not big changes, small ones. Check your balance. Track your spending. Read 10 pages. Save $5. Plan your day. Small disciplines done repeatedly will outperform giant goals done occasionally. Because when you strengthen the weakest link, you don't just improve your finances, you rebuild your entire foundation. When you look back at these 8 principles, you'll notice something powerful. None of them require luck, talent, or a perfect life. They require a decision, a new standard, a shift in identity. Success is not an event. It's not a number in a bank account. Success is a philosophy, a way of thinking, a way of acting, a way of showing up every single day with discipline and intention. You can't change your past, but you can change the path you walk from here forward. And that choice belongs to you, no matter your age, your income, or your starting point. So here's your moment. If even one idea today challenged you, moved you, or awakened something inside you, share this message with someone who needs it and comment below the principle you'll start applying this week. Your words might be the spark that changes someone's life. Now go build the future you were meant to lead. And before you leave, I want you to make one simple commitment, a commitment that tells the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you're done living on autopilot, that you're stepping into discipline, clarity, and leadership. If you're ready to take control of your money, your habits, and your future, type the number 8 inches the comments. Why 8? Because 8 is the number of a new beginning, a new cycle, a new chapter. It's the symbol of breaking the old pattern and rebuilding yourself with strength, intention, and purpose. Commenting 8 isn't for me. It's for you. It's your declaration, your line in the sand, your decision to rise. So if you're ready for the next level, if you're ready to build the life you were meant to live, comment 8 below. Let this be the moment your transformation officially begins.